Good morning to all of my friends, well-wishers, all of my YouTube fans. Thank you for joining me another day because this is a day that the Lord hath made. Yes, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Join me in doing that today. That's the best thing we could ever do. Well, today is what? Friday, Thankful Friday. Because some of you are saying, thank God it's Friday. Yeah, so it's another end of getting into the end of the week, and some of you may have some big plans for the weekend, and all. I just ask you to be careful, and whatever your choices are, make sure that they're good choices. Yeah, but it's another day, my friends, and I'm so glad to be back with you today. Yesterday we had two of my two brothers, two of my good friends on this program here. If you didn't get a chance to watch yesterday, you need to go back and watch. Yeah, it's a very good roundtable discussion, and we're going to have much more of that in the future if the Lord would allow us the opportunity to do so. Life is short. None of us know what happened tomorrow, but while we're here, we do what we can do. Do until you can't do. Yeah, that's how it is. Do until you cannot do. Yeah. So I thank God for the opportunity. Just waking up, being able to move around and to function, to talk, to see, to hear, all of those good stuff that comes with life. It's a blessing, It's a real blessing. We take life for granted so much, but let's be thankful. Yeah, because God is gracious. Father, I thank you for this day because we could not have done it ourselves. We wish, we plan, we hope, we have all of these things, Lord, that we are going to do tomorrow, but we never know if tomorrow will ever come. So thank you for this day. Thank you for your presence in this day. Thank you for giving us health and strength and the enabling to be able to love you and to praise you. It's an opportunity just to love the Lord. I thank you this morning. So I pray for my brothers, my sisters, Lord, everyone who's out there right now watching this broadcast and those who will watch later. I thank you for them. And I thank you, God, that you have enveloped them in your presence and that they're having new experiences. And Lord, things are happening in their lives even now as I speak. Lord, things are coming together. Thank you for that person who have been praying and waiting and hoping and wishing. Today is their day. Lord, I thank you for that. I praise you for it now. That body that has been rocking with pain and aches and discomfort, Lord, they've gotten their relief today in whatever way. I thank you for that. Thank you, God, for your presence, your love, your grace, and your mercy that you have extended to us. I give you all the praise today. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Well, to God be the glory. Great things he has done. So loved he the world that he gave us his son. Yes. So as I was saying earlier on that, sorry, we had company here yesterday, and I believe it was a very good broadcast. Yeah. And so I want to follow up today on our discussion yesterday. Today is Friday, and it makes no sense getting into something new. I think it's very appropriate just to continue the same trend to close the weekend with it. And then God's willing, Monday morning we will hear what he says, because we always have to listen. That voice, sometimes it's way early in the morning. He speaks, he says, okay, so yeah, we're in his hand. We're in his hand. So what we discussed yesterday, we were talking about offense. And the three things that we tried to cover, it was only an hour, so it's hard to put a lot of things into 1 hour, so yeah, just do a little recap and try to close it out today. But yesterday we try to talk about what offense is. What is it? And then secondly, what does the Bible say about it? And thirdly, how are people affected by it? The acronym that I shared yesterday that I made up for this was overstepping fairness. Because what happened, if you look at how it's being laid out, so let me just read it for you and then I'll explain it why. Overstepping fairness fuels emotions, nurtures conflict, and estrangement. Yeah, so what that really means is that fairness get a raw deal. Yeah, so we overstep fairness. And once that happens, it's going to fuel emotions. And when the emotions is fueled, and what happened, you find that it's nurturing the conflict and the distancing and the coldness and all of those things. So that's what that acronym really means. Yeah. So one of the brothers, yesterday raised a very good point. Unfortunately, we did not get a chance to. Well, it's probably my fault. I should have dug into it a little more. But it was a very valid point or statement one of the brother made when he talked about the necessity of offense. I went back and I watched the program and I said, oh man, how did I miss this part? I really missed something right there. Yeah. So, what he said is that offense is necessary. And so what happened, what that really means is that if it's coming out of truth, if the offense is coming out of truth, it's necessary. And so I said to myself, I probably offend people maybe every day on this program, but it's coming out of truth. And so that's the difference with when he says offense is necessary. Not all the time, sometimes it's necessary when it's coming out of truth, because people don't like truth and so they get offended because of the truth. So that was really what sorry we didn't dig into that yesterday a little more, but I'm just recapping so you get a good understanding of what was meant by that. Yeah. So you're watching me and maybe you offended somebody this morning. Maybe it's for the right thing and you know that you're offending them, but at the same time, it's the truth. It is for their betterment, for their good. So we do offend people. There's good way and bad ways. So the main focus here, when we choose this word, is the negative side of offense. It wasn't really focused on the positive aspect of it, the negative side, so that we will sort of get our ducks in order. So we don't go around just offending people and think it's okay, because some people do that. They think it's just okay to offend people. Yeah. When we look at offense in the Bible, it often refers to personal hurt, things like insult and all of those things, and emotional and relational issues and all this type of thing. That thing that we call offense can become a stumbling block, and what happens is that it can cause someone to fall away from the faith. It can cause somebody to sin against God when it's not coming out of truth. Remember, I tried to say that earlier on to you. Okay, so that I'm talking about the negative side of offense. Okay, so we have to be careful that we don't go down that road where we are actually putting people in danger of losing their path, losing their way, missing out on the things that God has planned for them. And so, when you look at all of this, you could actually say, good sense. As a matter of fact, let's go to Bible. Let's Proverbs 19 verse 11. It says, good sense makes one slow to anger, slow to anger. And it is the glory, it is his glory to overlook an offense. Wisdom leads to patience and grace. God wants us to be wise people. He wants us to function in the area of wisdom where we're not actually becoming a stumbling block, but we are actually that conduit or help to somebody. Proverbs 18 and verse 19 is another verse. A brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city. That's powerful right there. Yeah. So my friend, offense can create deep, real deep emotional divides. It can separate. Yeah. So it's something that we should not take pride in offending people, because then when we do that, we're actually putting them, as I earlier said, in danger of losing their way. So yesterday I mentioned, I said, we are here to protect one another, not to push anybody over the edge, but to pull them back. We are supposed to be always pulling people back, and so that they can reconstruct, recondition, get refocused, and move forward into their lives. Okay. Over in the book of James, 1 verse 19, be quick to listen, slow to speak. Yeah, be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to get angry. When you look at that, it's a posture of humility. That's what the Bible is saying. Remain humble, walk humble, talk humble, live humble. When you do that, we will prevent offense. Yeah. Go over to Colossians 3 and verse 13. Say, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Yeah. Because forgiveness is really the antidote of offense, to offense. When you think about it, it's the antidote. Because if you get offended because somebody do or say, or you think they do, or you think they said, and that thing that's called forgiveness right there, it's the only thing that can open the door to freedom again. Yeah. So what the Word of God is telling us, that that thing that's called forgiveness is really the key, or the antidote. When somebody gets sick, you look, whatever it is you're trying. What can we use to override this, or to restore the person, or to eliminate the thing, whatever it is. So forgiveness is that thing, the antidote that will actually become the remedy of healing to a person who has been offended, not in a positive way, but in a negative way. Luke 17 and verse 14, Jesus warns that offense will come, but he says, he urges us. He says, if offense comes, make sure that you tap into the same thing that we just mentioned, forgiveness. Yeah. And he and Peter, the disciples were talking, and they talk about how many times Peter asked, should we forgive, and all this type of thing. And Jesus turned around and says 70 times, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. And he is talking about in one day, in one single day. So it means that it's an ongoing thing. So we're not supposed to be taking pride in offending each other. If it happens, let it be something that is it happens, but you didn't know about it. You did not. I didn't realize that I offended you. Things like that. And then you can take that approach of you say, I'm sorry, whatever it is, and it has to be genuine. It can't be something that somebody said, well, you need to say you're sorry. You need to apologize. No. We have to come out of that place where we know that what we're doing, what we're saying, is actually the right thing. And there's nothing as good as doing the right thing. Right? The opposite of that is a bad thing. So we want to do the right, yeah? So God wants us to not to be a stumbling block to anyone. We don't want to cause create stumbling blocks or become that stumbling block. We want to make sure that people can see through us. They can enjoy life because of us, because of how we function, how we operate, what we do, what we say, because we're very careful of the words that comes out of our mouth every time. Yeah. So Christ is described as a stone of offense, a stone of offense. When you think about that, we're talking about this thing, offense, but he is actually described as a stone of offense. But how did he offend? In a good way, in a real good way, because as I mentioned earlier on when I started, his offense was based on truth. Yeah, he's telling the truth, and because he's telling the truth, people get offended because they do not like the truth. Yeah. So you might have been trying to talk to somebody to guide them along some path, way of their life, and all they do is they get offended each time. And you might say, well, you know what, man, I'm really gonna stop because they're not listening and whatever you. But the thing is that if you know that you're doing the right thing, regardless of who gets offended, you know that this is the right thing. Mark, I said you know that it is the right thing. Then keep on doing it, because if you stop, then somebody's probably gonna make a deposit of the negative to feed into what they think, how they think, and then makes that person worse. So if somebody's gonna get offended because you are pumping not religious, but spiritual hair into their tire, and they're getting offended, keep pumping, because it's the right thing. It is the right thing to do. So yes, we encourage you to be an offense right there, because it's for the right thing. You're saving their life. You're saving their souls. Yeah. So I really wanted to clear that up, because just in case some of you didn't understand what was said, and then as I said, I missed it, and I take the blame for that, not being able to tap into it, so you could get a better understanding of what he was trying to say. Yeah. So when we think of the spiritual lessons that we can learn from this, understand that offense is inevitable. It means that it's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you do, offense is going to happen. But the thing is how we respond, by the choices we make. It's how we respond by the choices we make. And as I mentioned earlier on, that one of the key factors is forgiveness, because when you look at in the spiritual sense, every person who is a follower of Christ, we must walk with that tool in our toolbox every day. Yeah, that tool that's called forgiveness, because it is really something that it's closely connected to good Christian living. Yeah. So offense can be a test of spiritual maturity and love and all those type of things. When you offend somebody in a spiritual realm, or when you're offended in the spiritual realm, because although we're followers of Christ, we're going to get offended by, and maybe the offense is, when we're getting offended, is that, oh my goodness, you know what? How could they? How could she? But then sometimes when you just look at that thing, just break it apart and look at it, you realize, oh, you know what? It makes sense. It does make sense. But offense is inevitable. It's going to happen. Again, as I said before, the key is how you respond, or the choices you make in dealing with that offense. The thing is that in the road to overcoming, there are some things that we have to observe, because we can't live in that thing that's called offense every day. If you've been offended, you have to find a path. You have to find a path how to get past this stumbling block. When you look at a verse like Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11, ESV version, It says, good sense makes one slow to anger. Good sense makes one slow to anger. And it is his glory to overlook an offense. It is his glory to overlook an offense. So when we talk about offense, honestly, if I could be real honest here, offense is a trap. Okay? It sneaks in through so many areas. And I'm just being honest. Offense is, it can be a trap. And it is something that the enemy uses so often. He knows the danger of it. He knows the damage that it can do. So he will set this trap, like it's like a mouse trap or something like that. Boom. And the slightest thing, sensation, boom, it flies. And maybe catches the wrong thing. Yeah, maybe catch the same person who set the trap. But offense is a trap. And so, as I said, it sneaks in. When I say it's a trap, it sneaks in through words, it sneaks in through gestures. Sorry, just simple things, simple misunderstandings, maybe between couples or families and all this type of things. It just creep in because somebody said the wrong thing or what is perceived to be the wrong thing, and then boom, offense creeps in. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting clarity. Okay, let me hear exactly what you said or what is meant by what you said and all this type of thing. And so we're able to diffuse anything that's going to create a stumbling block right there. And so that's why I said it's a trap. Yeah, and the enemy knows how to use it because he knows that the words that comes out of our mouth, man, I tell you, it will blow up bridges just like that. It will blow up, I mean, James talk about that. As I mentioned sometimes, James talk about that. He said, watch that thing inside of your mouth that's called a tongue, because then when we talk about offense, mainly that's where it's coming from. The mouth. Yeah, what's coming out of the mouth. Yeah. And so that's why God is so plain and so direct when he talks about that. So there's some things that we have to do. Okay, we have to try to break down the dividing walls. Okay, that offense has built. So if offenses goes unchecked, it's going to build a strong wall or a stronger wall. If it goes unchecked, the wall gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So, when I use term like that, you're thinking about a grudge. Yeah. So we have to acknowledge the hurt and just choose grace over grudge, grace over hurt. That is something that is possible for us to do, but it's easy. I mean, the enemy, he knows how to do this thing. He's a master at it. So some little things that should not have, man, we fly off the handle, we lose it. And sometimes I say to myself, man, what if the Lord would just take us out that minute? We have all our times is spent with the Lord has been wasted. We just fly off without even thinking, without, and maybe that's, you never know if your time has come right there. You don't know. Because it can, boom, blood flow hit your heart, boom, and it gives you a heart attack because of, you get so hostile and worked up and all this type of thing. So the enemy knows how to do this thing. He knows. Yeah. So, and because he knows so well how to do it, he works it. So what each of us need to ask ourselves, every last one of you watching me, and I have to ask myself that too. The question is, am I holding on to something that's holding me back? Yeah. Am I holding on to something that's holding me back? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay? So I'm holding on to something, and because I'm holding on to it, I can't move. I'm stuck. I'm planted right there. All I can do is dwell on that one thing. And some people have been holding on for some things for years, and they will not let it go. Even when they have opportunity to let it go, they just hold on to this thing and they will not forget it. The people, man, I tell you, it's marvelous to know how God has given us such opportunity and we waste it. We waste it just because of listening to the voice of the enemy. Yeah. So offense is something that will come, but we don't have to dwell in that room with it at all. Flip the light on and let that thing go. Turn the light on. Let that thing go. Okay? Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on the past. A lot of people, they will never let, as I said, they'll never set you free. Doesn't matter what you do. Don't matter how much you change. They will never set you free. As far as you're concerned, you're a prisoner in their book, and you'll be a prisoner until the day you die. Yeah. So, my friends, offense is not something that we want to hold on to. We don't want to embrace this demon. Send it back where it came from. Okay? If you want to get clarity, ask a question, man. Maybe one little answer could rectify that thing. So, again, back to the question I said, we all need to ask ourselves individually, each person, as I said, including me, am I holding on to something that's holding me back? Think about that, okay? So, good morning, John D. How you doing? Good to see you. She said, good morning to you all. We have to learn to overcome offenses. I tell you, if we have to learn, we really have to learn, my dear. We have to learn. Miss anybody up here? Yeah. Yeah, we have to learn to do that, because if we don't do that, it means that that thing has gotten the better of us. And when it gets the better of us, it's going to work us. And it's a satanic attack behind it. Satan, the enemy, is pouring fuel into that. And every time he makes it look worse. Because guess what? Something else is always going to happen. It doesn't matter how good or how much that person has changed. Something else is going to happen. Yeah. And then because we have been holding on to the old thing, something else happened. It rehashes the old thing. And then it gets stronger, because you know what, man, I didn't let go of the first one, and here's another one. Just tag on to it. I learned something. I can't explain it to you. I cannot explain it to you. But I learned something by using the computer. And I'm saying, man, I wish I was able to explain this to people. There's some things, if you're copy and pasting something, and I just found that out the other day. If you're copy and pasting something on the computer, if you copy that thing, and most things it's like that, and wherever you're gonna paste it, you click the right thing on the mouse. No, the left thing. What was it again? Oh boy. Yeah, the right thing. The left thing on the mouse. The mouse is like this, so this is the left. Okay, you click the left thing on the mouse. When you're ready to drag that thing, it takes everything. It's taking everything, the entire page with it. And I said, wow, this is something else. It's a learning experience right here. It's taking everything with it. But when you make a right click with that thing, drop it, make a right click, you can move it independently, put it where you need to put it. And so I said, this is something that when you look at it in the natural realm of how we operate or we function, is that I'm talking about one thing that comes and tag on, log on, latch itself onto something else. And so that's how we function. When one thing happens, we drag this thing, it latch onto that one. So when we move, everything is moving together, because then the old thing, the new thing, everything is moving together. So we have to learn to do that right click. Yeah. So we can actually manipulate that thing all by itself. You know what? I'm not going to use the old thing, the old instant, the old whatever happened yesteryear. I'm not going to drag it along with whatever happened. No, it's a new thing. So we deal with them as we go along, one by one. Yeah. So my friends, it's very important that we understand how offense works, what to do and what not to do. God wants us to be free. So the question again, I think it's the third or fourth time I'm saying this thing. The question again, am I holding on to something that's holding me back? Remember that question if you remember nothing else from this broadcast, remember that question. What are you holding on to that is holding you back so you're not able to move forward into, having new experiences? So there are some things that we need to do. 4 things we need to do. Okay? I want to give you just quickly, just drop those 4 things on you. Okay? To navigate offense, looking at it from a biblical standpoint, these 4 things. Number 1, you have to recognize the offense. Okay? Don't suppress it, deny it, toss it on the place where you have easy access to it. Don't do that. Never do that. When you get rid of something, get rid of it for good. Okay? If it tries to lift its head up again, you push it back, kill it, destroy it. Yeah. So recognize what it is. When you recognize what it is, if something happens, you can always, because you know what this thing is, you know where it came from, you know where it's coming from. So recognize the thing. And as I said, don't suppress it and don't deny it. Okay? Because we do that so many times. And then what happened? It comes back and it actually hit us like a ton of bricks. Yeah. Number 2, release it. Release it. We do that by, as I mentioned earlier on, by forgiving one another. That's how you release it. You forgive one another, and the Bible supports that. What I'm saying to you is from a biblical standpoint, okay? So we have to forgive. Once you do that, then you know that you're on your way to victory. Number three, reconcile it. In other words, what you do after you forgive, no, you're seeking peace and you're freeing yourself. You're freeing the other person. And so you become more usable, workable, tolerable, and all the elbows, whatever it is, okay? Because there's a good connection now. The old things are passed away and things are now become new. Number 4, refocus on God. Let him reshape you. Ask him. There's some things that we have to do for ourselves. There's some things we cannot do for ourselves. Only God will be able to do that for us. So, John D, yes, see? Did I read that one? Okay, John D, you're always such a good girl in your putting your comments. Yeah. For if you forgive others their offenses, your heavenly Father will forgive you also. And that's in Matthew 6, verse 14. That is very powerful verse. Very powerful, yeah. But the key right there is to forgive others. That's the key right there, to forgive others. Sometimes we wait, we sit back, and we think it's their duty to come to us. Yeah, but we have to listen to what's going on inside of our own heads, inside of our own thoughts, inside of our own mind. We have to listen and we have to respond appropriately. So as I said, number 4 was to refocus. What happened? So I'm going to go back from number 1 so you get, if you're writing them down, you can actually get them again. But you can go back and watch the tape. But let me do that. Number 1, recognize it. Don't suppress it. Don't deny it. Number 2, release it. Okay? And this is by forgiving one another. Number 3, reconcile. You're seeking peace. You're freeing yourself and you're freeing the other person. Number 4, refocus. Refocus. The only way that can be done is that now you're connecting to God in a healthy way, and that thing is being done collectively. So now you're doing it, the other person's doing it, so we're refocused. Now we're heading in the same direction because now a reshaping has taken place. Yeah. So Lady Gwen, good morning. Yeah, thumbs up, right? Hands up. That's your hearts. Yeah. So it's very important that we do this in other words, you're actually re-establishing yourself in God by doing these things: recognize, release, reconcile, and refocus. Four very important things. Okay. There's something, as I think I mentioned earlier on, words are so powerful. Words, what comes out of this mouth, words are so powerful. And some of you watching me right now, you know exactly, all of you, not some of you, all of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Words are very powerful. But guess what? We control words. Words do not control us. And that's the key. We hold the trigger. So you don't have to release that trigger and let the bullet out. You control. Your fingers control that trigger. So when words, man, I almost said it. I didn't want, I really, oh man, you know what? I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to say it. You have to hold yourself, and you have to start talking to yourself with it right there when things is happening. Because once you say it, it's gone. Once you say it, it is gone. Some people are aware of saying, well, I really didn't mean it. I just said it. But you said it. You said it. And so the fact that you said it, it doesn't matter what you say to the person. You said it, and that's it. That's what they heard, what you said. All that you're going to say afterwards actually doesn't make much sense to them. What they heard was what you said. Yeah. The negative. They hold on to that. That's humans. That's how humans operate. Yeah. So words they can create some big wounds. And you don't heal the wound that just 1, 2, 3, just, you open something and then all of a sudden, let's just close it up. No. Even if you close it up, it's going to take some time to heal. It's going to take some time to heal. So it's better not to make the wound. It's better not to do that. One of the things that is always good, and it can be bad. It's good and bad, okay? Because the truth is that, just thinking about it is silence. But thinking about it, as I'm about to say it, is that silence can be just as offensive as speech. Silence. It depends on the silence. Yeah. There's some silence that it's necessary not to say some things. But if you are silent but you're boiling, you might as well have said it because you're still boiling. Yeah. So that silence could be, just as bad, just as offensive as actually if you said the thing. So this is such a critical place to be, because I just mentioned to you about words and how it can create wounds and all this type of thing. So not to say some things, and now I'm talking about the silence. So we have to be sensible enough, smart enough, wise enough, connected enough to God, so we know what we are saying is that something is coming from a clean, pure choice of words. If I could say that, is we choose the words, and I choose those words carefully because deep inside of me, I do not want to be a negative offender. I don't want that. If I'm going to offend you, I want to be a positive offender. In other words, what I'm saying to you, I know it's the truth, but you don't see it this minute, but you're going to understand it. It is the truth. Yeah. So we have to be very careful how we do what we say, because, my friends, offense, it thrives in this thing that's called misunderstanding. Offense thrives in misunderstanding, or if you want to say on misunderstanding, whichever one, whether the on or the in. Okay? But offense thrive right there. It grows, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And so the only person who can weaken it is the person who has created it, the manufacturer of that. It's the only person who can weaken that thing. Yeah. The intent behind the action, and I alluded to that yesterday, the intent behind the action, it really matters. But the perception often wins. The way it's perceived, that often wins, whether in a good way or a bad way. Perception is going to win. Because the way I perceive what you say, if good way, bad way, positive, negative, that is going to win. Whether it's win in the negative or it wins in the positive. Yeah. So understand this, that what offend one may empower another. So you say something that, because two separate persons, you say the same thing to two people, okay? One person take an offense, the other person is being empowered by it. Yeah. So it depends on what is being said, how it's being said, why it's being said, and things like that. So some people, as I said, they're going to take offense to whatever. If it's for the good, keep on offending them. Yeah, if it's for the good. Yeah. So one person is going to take offense. One person going to see this. Man, this is so good. I'm really glad you said that. And they're grabbing that and they're running with it. Yeah. So two people responding to the same thing in different ways. Offense reveals our values and it reveals our boundaries. It tells us exactly, how far we can go with this, with that, and all this type of thing. So it tells you, it reveals your values, really. So when I say something and the way you respond to that something, or when you say something to me and the way I respond to that thing, it's telling you who I am. You're seeing through me who I am. Yeah. And so it's very important that we get, and John D says, anytime the thought of offense arises by the remember, okay, I'm sorry, my mistake. Try to remember all the person's good deeds. Oh boy, that's a good and bad. Remember their good deeds, because people are not always bad. That's a good thought, John. It's a very good thought. Remember their good deeds. I like that. Because once something happened, you could talk about that all day. Yeah, once something happens is that we forget all about all the good that the person has done. We forget that. We think we hear one thing. We think we understand something one way. And then all of a sudden, all we can do is put the person in that basket of that one offense, that one thing that we thought we heard or misunderstand something, and all the good that that person has done has been gone to the wastebasket. That's a very good thought right there. Very good. Very, very good. Yeah. So remember the person's good deeds over the bad. Don't put that one bad thing. 99 things good. You do, that person do good. One bad thing, they're a goner. That's human. That's how we operate. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing, my friends. So we have to make sure that we stay on top of our game so we can win or be winners. We can see the best or the better of the person. If we don't get the best, at least see the better part of them. Eventually it will get the best. Yeah. So one of the things that really need to be done is this thing that a lot of us hate to do, don't like to do, wish we didn't have to do, and it's this thing that is called apologize. Some people will not. I've heard people say, I will not apologize. And they know that they're wrong, but I will not apologize. But understand this. Let's broaden this a little more, because then I don't want for you to get the wrong concept, wrong idea of what I'm saying. Apologies do not erase offense. Understand that. It does not erase the offense. What it does, it opens the door for healing. Okay? Because apologies is a good thing. It's a good thing. But then if you're not looking at it as a way of healing, some years ago, I was watching a political discussion. I won't tell you what country it is, but it was in the Congress. Okay, All these politicians sat down, and one man get up and he said something very derogatory, very nasty, attacking a particular individual. And the others, even his own party, said to him, no, no, that's wrong. You need to apologize. You really need to apologize for that. His own party was saying that. You need to apologize. No, that's wrong. You're taking it too far. And the man sat down. And they still telling no, they stopped the meeting. And they said, you need to apologize. He got up. And I heard it with my ears. I'm not saying something that somebody told me. I heard it with my own ears. He said, well, they say I should apologize, so I apologize. That's not an apology. That is not a true, honest apology. They say I should apologize. So I'm saying that because they say I should do it. No, apology is something that has to come from a heart, because you're looking to open the door towards healing. You're looking to open the door towards healing. It's not erasing what the person did. It's not putting this big eraser and just erase everything. It's not doing that. It's creating that vacuum, that place for healing. That's what it's doing. And so that's sometimes where we miss it. Okay? We think, you know what, I give you this apology that, yeah, you can't say I didn't apologize, but then it's the inner man, what's going on behind that you just said. Because, my friends, offense is something that can be sparked by resentment. And actually it becomes a wildfire. Yeah. Sorry. It becomes a wildfire. And you know what a wildfire really is. Excuse me. Sorry. Thank God for water, right? Yeah. That thing can become like a wildfire. When it starts to burn, it's creating havoc. And people are just running away from the scene because I don't want this fire to get me. You know, it's coming too close to me. Everything that you can do to eliminate it, yeah, people are running. So it's not just affecting you or just two people. It's affecting everybody who's close by to that thing. Yeah. So we have to learn, and it's something that it's not easy to learn. Sometimes just a little humor, and some people don't even like humor. Just a little humor, and it has to come from the heart. Maybe just a little humor. You're surprised to know what that can do. Yeah. What it does, it draws that line between delight and forgiveness and all this type of thing, and all of those things connecting together. So the offense is here, the delight and the forgiveness and all those things is just looking at the offense and say, you need to go. Yeah. So it's very important, my friends, that we get a good understanding of how to be a better person, because getting better, you're on your way to best. You're on your way to best. Give me a moment, please. So it's okay. I'm not saying that you're not going to get offended. You will get offended. People will offend you. That's how it is. And you will offend somebody. But then you don't want it to be like that. You're living in that offensive mode all the days of your life, or you're the person who's been offended, and so you're living and all you can see is the bad in that person, just like what Joan put up here. She said that you cannot just dwell on one thing, erasing all of the good that somebody did. You can't do that, because people are not all that bad, but we use one little instant, yeah, because we're not satisfied with it, because we think that we're unfairly treated in something, and we cannot let that go. The person has been good, but then you cannot see any good in the person anymore. Just that one thing. You never let it go. And that sometimes leads to your destruction. Sickness can come. Disease can come. And man, I tell you, so many things can happen when we don't let things go. Yeah. All right. Well, time is slipping away so fast. Yeah. So apologies is something that is very important. We have to learn to do that. but understand it's not erasing the thing, but it's taking us to another dimension where we can actually enjoy life to the max, because God wants us to enjoy our lives, not to get stuck. Too many of us are stuck in that place, and when you're stuck right there, you can't move. The enemy has got your ticket, and so you're not going to be able to move at all. Yeah. So offense can be a mirror. You look through that thing. You can see all your insecurities and all this type of thing. Why am I always offended? Why do I hold on to offense? Maybe it's because of your own insecurities. So taking offense is sometimes a choice. Did I say sometimes, or should I say all the time? Well, let me say sometimes. Yeah, it's sometimes a choice. Okay, it's not like that. That reflex, okay, type thing. Well, sometimes you just have a reflex, yeah. But it's a choice. It's a inner choice that we make to do what we do, to say what we say, to function, to hold on, to not to let go. It's a choice we make, yeah. So whatever choice we make is going to shape our lives, and it's going to dictate to us who we are. And as I mentioned earlier on, it's also going to tell you your values. It's going to do that. Offense will do all of those things. Yeah. Offense can be a tool that, you think about change. Offense can be something that you, whether on the good side or the bad side, you use it to make somebody's life better. Okay? And just like I mentioned, the brother said yesterday, it becomes a necessary tool. But you're doing that because you're trying to make somebody's life better. On the negative side, it's a tool that can damage relationship, damage all the way. Yeah. The truth is that the offended person often hold more power than the offender. Yeah, the offended person always holds more power than the offender. What do I mean by that? You are the offended person, okay? You have the ability. Jesus said this: if you know that you've been offended, he didn't use the word offend, but somebody have, I don't remember the exact quote, but you bring your gift to the altar and you remember that somebody have heart against you. You hold the power. You hold the key to all of this. Whether that person want to walk through the door, yes or no, you hold the key to that thing. He says, leave the gift at the altar. Go make it right to the person. Then come back and offer your gift. You hold the power to that. The other person, whether they accept or reject, you couldn't care less. You have done your part with a clean heart, pure heart. And so the truth is that you hold more power than the person who has caused the offense. Yeah? I hope you understand what I just said. Okay? So if you're the offender, you hold the key to resolve this thing, not the person who actually offend you, because they may never release you, but you hold the power to resolve that thing. Yeah. So offense can be something that is used to unite people. Yeah. And it instead of tearing people apart, it does that. It tears apart, but it's also used to unite people, because then, coming from the positive end of it, okay, when you look at two people arguing, let me use that picture. Two people bickering, fighting at each other, okay, you're going to say something that is probably going to look offensive, sound offensive, but it's the right thing you're doing, and because to bring some resolution between those two people. And so, are you going to not say it because then, you know what, I don't want to create a big offense? No. If it is going to help, then you have to drop it right there. Just drop it. It's an offense, but you have to drop it right there, because then it's going to help the situation. It's not going to create a bigger tear, a bigger damage, a bigger wound. It is going to eventually heal the wound. Yeah. So, my friends, offense is really two side to it. Okay? The good and the bad. Good and the bad. So we have to know which one we're holding on to. Which one is really, where are we willing to actually drop anchor? We have to think carefully. Forgiveness is the attitude to you'd say that's lingering offense. How we do what we do. Forgiveness can actually bridge the gap between that thing that's been there. So it's an attitude of forgiveness that's really going to change the whole dynamics of what's going on. So offense is really, it just puts up a signal, yeah? So something that is telling you no, danger, or you're free to go. Yeah, you're free to go. So good offense or bad offense, yeah? So my friends, it's very important. I want to thank you for joining me today. Remember this, that everything in life, not everything is wrong. Not every offense is wrong. Okay? But if it's offense is bad, you know what bad offense is. Stay away from it. Don't create a bigger monster than you need to. You don't need to create no monster at all. What we need to do, what we're going to do, is do things that's going to do it politely. Okay? Do it without feeling timid, anything like that. Do it politely and nicely. That I'm going to try to do or say what I have to do to bring about resolution in the situation, so people can actually enjoy a better life. They can grow, yeah, and they can begin to, see the thing as, okay, you know what, this was a learning experience or things like that. But you have deposited your part, you have done what you need to do, and actually you're helping a situation, not damaging a situation. Stay away from negative offense, and live as the Lord wants you to live. Help where you can. If you're offended today, don't hold on to that thing. It will heat you out. It will make you sicker and sicker and sicker. And doctors can't even find what's wrong with you because of this thing that you're holding on to, here in, ear out. You can't let it go. My advice to you, my friends, as I close this broadcast today, let go of the offense so you can live your life, enjoy your life, and God can use you the way He wants to. I want to thank you very much for joining in today. And let me see if I miss anybody over here. Okay. Okay, Iona says, okay, overcoming an offense doesn't mean ignoring or dismissing the feeling involved. And, that's what we said earlier on. Yeah? It means to consciously choose not to be governed by them. Yeah, they're dictating your mood, dictating your life and everything like that. It involves recognizing the power we have through God. And we do have something inside of us to tell us, you know what, you're bigger than this, you're better than this. You don't have to allow this thing to consume you in such a way where you become a walking dynamite. All that just waiting to blow up something, the next thing that comes your way. So my friends, let it go. Move forward so you can enjoy your life in a better way. Thank you again for joining. Thank you, and I hope to see you back here on Monday morning, if we are here and alive and well. Hope to see you back here 10 a.m. Monday morning, U.S. time. Wherever in the world you are, again, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Share the link. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Invite others to subscribe. And please don't leave without giving me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. You know what a thumbs up is? That finger going up, yeah? So please, I'm closing, but I just say this as I talk about this. You know why maybe some people give you thumbs down? Is because I offend them. I just thought about that. So if I offend people sometime on the program, what they do, they give you a thumbs down because something was said that they didn't like. Yeah. So they said, thumbs down. And yeah, you offend me. Yeah. So I do know that I'm offending some people sometimes. Yeah, I do that. But I hope I've not offended anybody today. I hope and trust that you're with me on this and you enjoy the broadcast. I thank you again. See you back here on Monday. Again, God's willing. And may you continue to enjoy the rest of your week. May God's love, blessings, grace continue to shine on you. Peace be unto you. God bless you.